Our first speaker tonight, or this afternoon, I guess would be a better word, is Stephanie Graham. And she's gone from corporate to entrepreneur. And she owns a company called the Perfect Fit Consignment Boutique in Bedford. I happened to go and stalk her Facebook page, and I think I may have found my new favorite store. There's a lot of really cool things there. Stephanie has 3 girls, 19, 17, and 6. Somehow she balances these 3 children, her growing business, and a new relationship. So today, Stephanie is going to talk about being rejected and doing it on your own. Please join me in welcoming Stephanie to the stage.
So I heard a few little gasps on that age gap on my children. When the doctor tells you, hey, you might want to be careful for the next 2 weeks now that you've decided not to have children. Listen. It was also right in the middle of our divorce with my husband. Find a man at the bar, right? Find a man at the bar. Pick someone new. It might work out. Don't listen to that advice. Actually, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. So yeah, I'm an adopted Nova Scotian, I say, because I came here when I was pregnant with my daughter, who's now 6. And I have spent summers here in Cape Breton, and I really feel like this is a wonderful place to call home. So I'm an adopted Nova Scotian. Don't kill me, but I'm from Ontario. There are nice people there. I do drive like an Ontarian, though, so just get out of my way. I chose Bedford, actually, for a couple of reasons: to build my business and to grow my support group, mainly because of the feeling that I got when I was there. We've heard a lot of talk today about women supporting women, and women helping women, and women encouraging women, and women coming up behind other women to support them. And not just in Bedford, but here in Nova Scotia, I found that it's okay to be vulnerable, that it's okay to cry, that it's okay to say the F-bomb, which I won't do on this stage. It's okay, it's okay. There may be some swearing if it happens, I'm sorry. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was a beautiful sunny day. This is sort of where I am right now and how things came to be, but a beautiful sunny day. I was sitting in my favorite restaurant, sitting across from this new love of my life, and I had all that new relationship, you guys know what that, right? That you just can't wait to get along with each other. That happening. And the waitress comes, and she puts my plate down in front of me, and I start sobbing. Like the ugly cry, where nothing's coming out, but I'm crying and tears are running down my face. And this poor man is thinking, what the hell did I do? I don't know. And I said, don't worry. And I'm crying. This thing that made me cry, that ugly cry, it wasn't the death of a spouse. It wasn't my failed marriage. It wasn't being laid off from a job that I loved. It wasn't anything to do with my children. You ready for it? I got chicken balls instead of chow mein. I cried for 3 hours. 3. So this is the day that I realized I struggled with depression. Okay? This is the day that this man who loves me dearly said, as I'm sobbing at my chicken balls, are you ready to get some help? And all I could do is this, because I was doing this. And it took a lot for me to do this, because I had been a woman who had done it all by myself. And I was proud that I had done it all by myself. That day, the chicken ball day, we call it chicken ball day in my house. My children are aware of the chicken ball day too. The chicken ball day was the day that I opened my brand new store by myself. My business partner had decided that she would come and go and not really be there with me full time. And I had listed my house the day before and had sold that morning. I guess I should have raised the price. So all of these things were happening all at once, and I had been through a lot. I thought I could handle a lot. I had bought my first house by myself. I had traveled and raised children. I wouldn't say by myself, because there was a husband there, but he played video games a lot, so it was by myself. And I was used to just saying, okay, everybody, let's go. And I realized at that point that I was sitting there and I was feeling alone, but there was people around me. So there's 3 things that I want to share with you about the chicken ball day. One is that we don't need to do it by ourselves. Depression loves loneliness. Depression grows in loneliness. And when you're sitting in your bedroom in the dark after you've taken your children to the bus, that's a great place for depression to grow. And all those irrational thoughts and feelings that you know are irrational at the time grow and grow and grow. And you can listen to Wayne Dyer all you want, but that depression is still going to grow if you're sitting there by yourself in your room. The other thing that I want to talk about is being vulnerable, and that being vulnerable is okay. I took a big chance. I had a mentor at a previous job who I still love and respect. And I went to her and I told her, I'm struggling with depression and I need help. This is what she said: if you're depressed, we're all screwed. Oh, okay. I probably say I'm probably one of the happiest people you ever meet if you come to my store. If I'm having a bad day, just say, where's the wine? And then I'm like, oh my God, I will be happy. But it's one of those things that I took a step and I was vulnerable, and it was a huge hurt to hear that, because that door was shut, the conversation was over. And I then decided, I left her office and I said, you know what, I need to be vulnerable again. And I need to understand that that's not the person I need to talk to today. So I also took it upon myself because of that, and this is something that I hadn't planned on saying today, but I think it needs to be said, is that depression is still very misunderstood. I am a very happy person. This is probably me being like really toned down right now. I'm taking it easy on everybody in here. I'm very transparent as well. If you come into my store, I may be putting on mascara. I know somebody in here has seen me doing it a few times. I was curling my hair in there today too. I'm like, hi, come on in. I'm very transparent. When you come to my store, it's like coming to my home. We may have coffee, we may cry, we may laugh. I may tell you your butt looks fat in those jeans. It's gonna happen, and it's okay. We need to be that real with each other. We need to be that transparent. But when someone discusses something with you in a huge, vulnerable way, take the time to be gracious and kind, and even if you don't understand, take a minute to say, you know what, I don't know what that's like. I'm really sorry you're going through that. That's a great response, by the way. I'm really sorry you're going through that. Not, oh God, we're all screwed. And she didn't say screwed, she said the F-bomb, but I don't want to have to censor this conversation too much. But it's really important for us as women to help each other and grow. I did feel at one point like I was growing my business by myself. I had gone through a program which was supposed to mentor and support, and it did, but I really felt like day to day in your business, you're alone. You're in there a lot alone, tagging, clothing, doing appointments. You're with people, but you're not connecting. And it's really important to take the time to do that. So the third thing that depression taught me was to connect on a meaningful level. Whether in my business, with my children. I remember as a young woman starting out in the corporate world, being really upset that all the women around me were really old. Like really old. Really old. Like they were in their 40s. I know, right? And I was like, I was 21, by the way, when I got my first corporate management job, 21. So that was really old. And now I seek out women who are graciously aging, we'll call them, who are at least 20 to 30 to 40 years older than me. Because you know what? They don't have it all figured out. They've got a lot of it figured out. So I would just like to say thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak. We need to, as women, come behind, come with, stand with each other. And I would be happy to host you in my store at any time and just give you a hand in any way. Thank you.
So now we're going to open up the floor if you have any questions for Stephanie.
They didn't tell me about that until the last minute. I was like, what? Q&A? What?
Where's your business?
My business is on the Bedford Highway, right in between Hammonds Plains Road and Shore Drive. We're right across from Tabrizi Rugs. And it's funny because I looked at over 50 properties in Bedford, 50, and this one was run down, fenced off, broken, and full of garbage. So hey, it was perfect, right? Yeah. No, my best friend, actually that was part of my original talk, was about how I got started. My best friend owns the children's shop, and as I was depressed, she wanted to get me out of the house, so she told me she needed my help. And one day I went into a big empty section and she goes, surprise, you're opening your new store. So I was there for the first year, and then we moved next door. Oh, thank you, thank you.
Thanks for speaking about mental health for the first position of the day. I think it's really important that you chose that as a topic and that you're brave enough to speak about that. I wonder if you might offer some advice for some self-care that you might continue to do as an entrepreneur.
Yes. That was also in my first bit that I need to get the chicken ball story in, sorry. No, but self-care is really important. I was really lucky before I went into entrepreneurship. One of the girls who I was working with, and I think she's here somewhere, she was doing her yoga teacher training at the time. And we worked very closely together on the road together a lot. She also taught fitness classes 3 or 4 days a week. How many, Tisha? 4? 4. So when we're in the car on the road together, and she's saying, I'm going to a fitness class at lunch. Do you have shoes? And I was like, no, I have everything but the shoes. She started throwing shoes in the trunk for me because that was my excuse a few times. But really, with especially depression, I won't get too scientific-y and whatever here, but the buildup of cortisol in our bodies, because we aren't allowed to kill our ex-husbands, is something that really affects our that's a whole other talk too. It really affects our ability to handle stress. We aren't cavemen. We don't go hunt, lions and get all that aggression out. And as women especially, we don't have avenues to get our aggression out. It's not safe to do it in your car, unless you live in Toronto. And it's really important for self-care. I still struggle with getting enough time, but putting yourself first to take the time to get that aggressive bursts of energy out. If I many times locked myself in a bathroom and screamed, I knew I could feel. When you take time and you slow down, you start to feel when it's building. You know when it's happening, and you know things that might trigger you. So having a good support system, having a really good release. I still cry when I run. If you see me running on the Bedford Highway, tears will be pouring down my face. It's okay. And so I tend to do the trail in behind my car now, because I can run and people just think someone's chasing me. But you need to, as self-care, really find what works for you. For me, one of the things that really works, that sounds really bad. It starts with drinking, but it ends with dancing. So I can dance for 7 hours. 7 hours. And it's fun and it's great, and you have permission to get sweaty and be gross, right? So doing the things, and same with the gym, taking time to slow it down and spend time with yourself. I had forgotten who I was. So that self-care as an entrepreneur, taking time every day, I have a mentor, her name's Amelia, she lives up here, she's in my head. She talks to me every morning. So doing some exercises, and that's not part of mental illness, that's just part of an exercise I went through to create your inner mentor. But spending time with yourself, figuring out who you are, is so key. When I started this, I was apologizing for who I was. And you need to just be okay with who you are and let that be. And that's what's made, I think, me more successful than I probably would have been otherwise. So take the time. Take the time. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. I know that to be vulnerable is very, very hard, especially when we're all expected to be so independent and so charged forward and in control. And if we let a crack show or something, we feel like that someone's going to take advantage of that maybe and make it not a good thing to be vulnerable. But so thank you for sharing. That was very brave, and thank you.